This video is about she broke a vase and the rich lady adopted her child. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. Part 1: The Shattered Moment. In the heart of a bustling city, amidst the cacophony of daily life, lived a young girl named Mia. At 12, she was small for her age, with chestnut curls that danced around her round face and deep brown eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Despite her humble beginnings, Mia's laughter was infectious, a melody that warmed even the coldest of days. Mia and her mother, Clara, shared a cramped one-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. Clara worked 2 jobs, a waitress by day and a cleaner by night, to provide for them. They often ate simple meals, mostly rice and beans, but their hearts were full, nourished by their unbreakable bond. "We have each other, Mia, that's what matters," Clara would say, brushing her daughter's hair as the sun set, casting a warm glow in their tiny living room. One fateful day, while Clara was preparing for her evening shift, Mia found herself daydreaming, lost in a world of butterflies and flowers. She gazed at a beautiful vase on the table, a relic from a time before hardship had taken hold of their lives. Clara had cherished it, often calling it her lucky charm. But today, as Mia touched it with her small hands, she lost her grip and the vase crashed to the floor, shattering into 1,000 pieces. "Mama," she cried, her heart racing as she knelt down, her palms trembling. The sharp shards glimmered ominously in the dim light. Clara rushed in, her face pale as she took in the scene. "Oh, Mia," she whispered, her voice a mix of shock and sorrow. "That vase, it was so dear to me. I am so sorry, I didn't even mean to." Mia's eyes filled with tears, the guilt weighing heavily on her small shoulders. Clara knelt beside her, brushing a tear from Mia's cheek. "It is okay, sweetheart. Accidents happen. We'll clean it up together." But the vase wasn't just a broken object. It was a symbol of Clara's past, a connection to a life that had once been full of promise. With every shard they collected, Clara felt the weight of her dream slipping further away. "I should have been more careful," Mia muttered, her voice barely above a whisper, as they swept the last of the pieces into a dustpan and knock echoed through their narrow hallway. Clara's heart sank. Visitors usually meant trouble, and today was no exception. She opened the door to reveal a stunning figure clad in a tailored coat, her presence radiating authority. It was Mrs. Eliza Thornton, a wealthy widow known for her sharp tongue and a penchant for acquiring what she desired. "Clara," Mrs. Thornton began, her voice cold as ice. "I've been meaning to discuss my expectations regarding the cleaning service." Clara nodded, acknowledging the unspoken pressure that came with their arrangement. Mrs. Thornton had been her most lucrative client, but her demands were often unreasonable. "Of course, Mrs. Thornton, I appreciate your business," Clara replied, her voice steady, though her hands trembled. "Good, I trust you'll ensure the quality of your service remains impeccable. I will not tolerate any accidents, especially in my home." Mrs. Thornton's gaze flickered to Mia, who stood behind Clara, her innocent face marred by worry. "And I expect you to keep your child out of my way." With that, Mrs. Thornton turned on her heel and strode away, leaving Clara feeling smaller than ever. "Mama," Mia whispered, her heart aching for her mother. "I didn't mean to ruin anything. I'll do better." Clara knelt down, pulling Mia into a tight embrace. "It is not your fault, my love. We'll manage. We always have." But a shadow had settled in Clara's heart that day. The weight of fear and uncertainty for their future loomed larger than the shattered vase. Days turned into weeks, and the atmosphere in their apartment shifted. Clara's shifts grew longer, her smiles more fleeting as the pressure from Mrs. Thornton built. Mia could see the fatigue etched on her mother's face, the way her shoulders sagged under life's burdens. One afternoon, Mia decided to surprise Clara with a small welcome home sign made from colorful paper and crayons. She wanted to lighten the mood, to rekindle the joy that had once filled their home. As she placed the sign on the door, a sudden noise startled her, the sound of glass breaking. Heart racing, Mia rushed toward the kitchen to find Clara sitting on the floor, surrounded by remnants of their last meal. A glass had slipped from her tired hands, shattering into pieces. "Oh, Mama, are you okay?" Clara looked up, her eyes filled with tears, and for a moment the world around them vanished. "I am fine, darling, just a little clumsy today," she replied, forcing a smile that cracked under the weight of exhaustion. But Mia knew better. Her mother was fighting battles unseen. Determined to uplift Clara, she asked, "Can we have a movie night tonight? Just us?" Clara nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude for Mia's sweetness. "That sounds perfect," she replied, pulling Mia closer, the warmth of their embrace soothing the worries of the world outside. As they settled into their evening routine, a knock at the door interrupted the cozy atmosphere. It was Mrs. Thornton again, her expression unreadable. "Clara, we need to talk," she said sharply, stepping into their small living room, ignoring the sign Mia had made. Clara's heart sank. "Certainly, Mrs. Thornton. Is everything all right? I just saw the state of my home after your last cleaning. It's unacceptable." Her voice raised, echoing in the small space. "I am afraid I must let you go." "Please, Mrs. Thornton," Clara implored, desperation creeping into her voice. "I need this job. I have a daughter to care for." "Your personal struggles are not my concern, Clara. Good day," Mrs. Thornton replied, her tone final as she turned on her heel. The door closed, and silence enveloped the apartment. Mia looked up at Clara, her heart aching. "Mama, what will we do?" Clara swallowed hard, forcing back the tears. She had always been strong, a steadfast rock for Mia, but today, as uncertainty loomed, the fire began to crack. "We'll all find a way, sweetheart, I promise," she said, although doubt gnawed her spirit. As the sun set, casting a soft glow over their apartment, Clara and Mia huddled together, seeking solace in each other's presence. Little did they know that fate was weaving a different story, one that would soon intertwine their lives with the very woman who had just cast them aside. Weeks passed, and the weight of worry pressed down on Clara's shoulders, but she persevered. One day, while walking through a park after a job hunt, she spotted Mrs. Thornton sitting on a bench, engrossed in conversation with a friend. Mia, ever curious, tugged at her mother's sleeve. "Mama, can we sit on that bench?" she asked, pointing to a nearby seat. Clara hesitated, but the warmth of sunlight beckoned them closer. As they approached, Mrs. Thornton glanced up, her demeanor shifting from indifference to surprise. "What do you want?" she asked, her tone sharper than necessary. "We just wanted to enjoy the day," Mia said, her voice soft yet brave. Clara could feel her own heart quickening as she held her daughter's hand tightly. "Well, be quick about it," Mrs. Thornton replied curtly, returning her attention to her friend. But Mia, undeterred, leaned in. "Do you like butterflies? They're so beautiful, and they remind me of hope," she said, her innocence shining through. For a moment, a flicker of surprise crossed Mrs. Thornton's face, and Clara recognized the look that accompanied it, curiosity. Mrs. Thornton's friend chimed in, "You're a smart girl. Not many children speak like that." Mia beamed, encouraged by the praise. "There is a butterfly pavilion not far from here. I love watching them fly. They remind me that even when things are tough, we can still find beauty." Clara felt her heart swell with pride as Mrs. Thornton observed the exchange, her brow furrowing slightly. What was she thinking? "Children have a way of seeing the world differently," Mrs. Thornton finally said, her voice softer than before. "I suppose they see magic where we see problems." Suddenly, Clara felt a glimmer of hope. In that moment, she realized that even the hardest hearts could be softened by the pure light of a child's spirit. As they walked away, Mia turned to her mother, her face lit with excitement. "Did you see? She wasn't mean at all." Clara smiled, her heart buoyed by Mia's unwavering belief in goodness. "You have a gift, sweetie. Never lose that light." Little did they know, this chance encounter would serve as the catalyst for change, setting in motion a series of events that would lead to the unimaginable, the rich lady and the little girl who broke a vase, forever intertwining their fates. Hash to be continued. Hash Part 2, A Chance Encounter. Days slipped by like grains of sand, and the weight of uncertainty settled deeper in Clara's heart. Each morning, she awoke with a flicker of hope, only to be weighed down by the worries that had taken residence in her mind. But Mira's spirit remained a boy, lifting her mother from despair, like a strand of sunlight piercing through the clouds. "Mama, let us go feed the ducks today," Mia suggested one Saturday morning, her voice bubbling over with excitement. The park had become the sanctuary, a place where worries felt lighter and laughter entwined with the gentle rustle of leaves. "All right, sweetheart," Clara replied, her voice breaking the silence that had cloaked their apartment for too long. "Let us get some bread." And with that, they ventured out, the sun warming their faces, breathing life into their spirits. As they strolled through the park, Clara found herself lost in the vibrant colors of blooming flowers. She watched as Mia ran ahead, her laughter echoing like a sweet melody. The simple joy in her child's eyes reminded Clara of the beauty that still existed, even amidst hardship. "Look, Mama, the ducks," Mia called, pointing to a small pond where a family of ducks paddled lazily, their feathers glistening in the sunlight. Clara smiled, her heart swelling as she tore pieces of bread, tossing them into the water. "Here you go, little friends," Mia exclaimed, giggling as the ducks quacked eagerly. Each tiny quack felt like a reminder of life's simple pleasures, things that couldn't be shattered or broken. As they fed the ducks, Clara spotted Mrs. Thornton walking along the path nearby, her expression softer than Clara had ever seen. Clara's heart raced. Would she be met with the same cold indifference? "Mama, look at us, Mrs. Thornton," Mia exclaimed, her innocence radiating hope. "Maybe we should say hello." "Are you sure, honey? Remember how she was before?" Clara replied, her voice tinged with hesitation. "Maybe she has changed," Mia said, her eyes twinkling with belief. "Besides, everyone deserves a second chance, don't you think?" Clara couldn't help but admire her daughter's unwavering optimism. With a deep breath, she nodded. "All right, let us say hello." As they approached, Mrs. Thornton paused, her eyes widening slightly in surprise. "Well, what do we have here?" she said, her tone devoid of the usual bite. "Mama and I are feeding the ducks," Mia said brightly, her enthusiasm palpable. "Would you like to join us?" Mrs. Thornton stood silently for a moment, her expression inscrutable. Clara felt a twinge of fear. What if the past would haunt this moment? I suppose I could spare a few moments," Mrs. Thornton replied, her voice less frosty than it had been weeks ago. She walked over, and Mia eagerly offered her a piece of bread. As they tossed the remnants into the pond, Clara caught a glimpse of the woman that lay beneath the surface of Mrs. Thornton's tough exterior. "You know," Mrs. Thornton began, her voice softer than before, "I used to love feeding the ducks with my daughter." Mia looked up, her curiosity piqued. What was she like? Mrs. Thornton hesitated, her gaze drifting to the shimmering water. "She was full of life, always dancing, always laughing. I lost her years ago." Mia's eyes widened in surprise, and Clara felt a pang of empathy. "I am so sorry," Clara whispered, unsure of the right words to say. Mrs. Thornton's expression was a mixture of nostalgia and sadness. "It is not something I talk about often, but it is a void that never truly goes away." Mia, in her innocent wisdom, spoke up. "Everyone has their own kind of magic. Even when things are sad, we can still find joy in other things, like the ducks." The corners of Mrs. Thornton's mouth twitched, a faint smile beginning to take shape. "You have a way of looking at life that I envy, dear girl." Clara's heart leaped at the softness in Mrs. Thornton's voice, a sign that perhaps the walls around her heart were beginning to crumble. "Mia has a gift for finding beauty in the smallest things," Clara said, pride swelling in her chest. "Indeed," Mrs. Thornton replied, her gaze shifting to Mia. "You remind me that sometimes we need to look past our fears." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting an ethereal glow across the pond, Clara couldn't help but feel that a bridge had been built between them, a connection forged through shared vulnerability. "Mama, can we come back here again?" Mia asked, her enthusiasm bubbling over. Clara nodded, her heart lightened. "Of course, sweetie." Mrs. Thornton, still standing close, turned to Clara. "You are doing a wonderful job raising her. It is not easy, I know." Clara met her gaze, their eyes locking in a moment of understanding. "Thank you. It is the love we share that keeps us going." That evening, as they returned home, Mia's chatter filled the apartment with renewed energy. "Did you see how Mrs. Thornton smiled? I think she liked us." "Yes, baby," Clara replied, her heart swelling with hope. Sometimes even the hardest people can surprise us. Days turned into a week, and Clara noticed a change in herself. The heaviness that had weighed her down began to lift, and she found renewed determination in her search for work. On a particularly bright morning, as she scoured the local job listings, a glimmer of opportunity caught her eye. The community center was seeking part-time staff for various roles, including daycare assistants. Clara's heart raced. This could be the chance they needed. "Mama, look, I made a drawing for the ducks," Mia exclaimed, bursting into the room with a crayon masterpiece. "That is beautiful. Sweetheart, we'll all have to bring it next time," Clara replied, unable to contain her joy at Mia's creativity. With renewed energy, Clara decided to apply for the job at the community center. She spent the evening crafting a resume, pouring her heart into describing her experiences and skills. With every word, it felt like she was reclaiming a piece of herself that had been lost amidst the storm. The next day, Clara submitted her application, her heart racing as she walked away from the center. No matter the outcome, she felt a sense of hope burgeoning within her. A few days later, while Mia was at a friend's house, Clara received a call. "Hello, is this Clara?" "Yes, this is she," Clara replied, her voice steady. "This is Patricia from the community center. We reviewed your application, and we'd love to invite you for an interview." With tears of relief filling in her eyes, Clara thanked her profusely. As she hung up, she knew she had taken a step toward a brighter future. That evening, she shared the good news with Mia, who squealed with delight. "Mommy, you're going to be amazing." "I couldn't have done it without your light," Clara said, pulling her daughter into a warm embrace. "You inspire me every day, Mia." As days turned into weeks, the bond between Clara and Mrs. Thornton continued to grow. They would often meet in a park, where Mia's laughter filled the air, and Mrs. Thornton would share stories, her laughter slowly replacing the coldness that once surrounded her. One afternoon, while they sat under the shade of a tree, Mrs. Thornton turned to Clara with an earnest expression. "I've been thinking I would like to help you and Mia. Perhaps I could assist you in finding better opportunities." Clara's heart swelled at the offer, but doubt crept in. "Are you sure, Mrs. Thornton? I wouldn't want to impose on you kindness." "You aren't imposing. You and Mia have changed my perspective on life. I want to give back," she replied, her eyes filled with sincerity. Clara could hardly believe what she was hearing. "Thank you, that would mean the world to us." As they ventured through this unexpected bond, Clara's interview at the community center went wonderfully. She received the job, and with it, the promise of stability. Every morning, she would rise with renewed purpose, energized by Mia's laughter and the warmth of a newfound friendship with Mrs. Thornton. Together, they navigated the challenges of life, each moment more beautiful than the last. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the park, Mrs. Thornton turned to Mia with a smile. "You know, Mia, you remind me so much of my daughter. She would have adored you. Can we be friends?" Mia asked innocently, her eyes sparkling with hope. "Of course, my dear," Mrs. Thornton replied, her voice filled with warmth. "You are a very special girl." And so, the three of them began to navigate life together, each day a testament to resilience, kindness, and the beauty of the human spirit. Clara, once burdened by fear, now embraced hope with every step, while Mia, with her boundless energy, continued to inspire those around her. As they walked under the canopy of trees, sharing laughter and dreams, Clara realized how life had a way of weaving paths together, creating unexpected ties that transformed struggles into hope. Together, they were redefining what it. Part 3, A New Beginning. The sun rose lazily over the horizon, casting a golden hue across the city. Clara awoke to the soft sound of Mia's laughter drifting through their small apartment, a melody that brought her immediate comfort. The apartment felt different now, filled with hope and possibility after Clara had secured a job at the community center. "Mama, look, I made pancakes," Mia announced, her voice bubbling with excitement as she bounced into the living room, a plate of slightly charred pancakes in hand. Clara chuckled, her heart swelling at Mia's enthusiasm. "You're a little chef now. Let me help you with the syrup." As they sat together at the small kitchen table, Clara marveled at how far they had come. The heartbreak from the shattered vase felt distant, overshadowed by the shared joy of their mornings. That morning was a celebration of resilience, a reminder that life, even in its simplest moments, could be a banquet when filled with love. After breakfast, Clara prepared for her day. She dressed in her favorite blouse, the one she wore during her interview, and tucked a small note into Mia's backpack. "Remember, today is your art class. I want to hear all about it when I pick you up," Clara said, her voice filled with warmth. "I will, and I am going to draw you a picture," Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight. "You read the best, sweetheart," Clara replied, planting a kiss on Mia's forehead before sending her off to school. With each step she took toward the community center, Clara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was ready to embrace the challenges ahead, not just for herself, but for her little girl. Upon arriving, Clara was greeted by Patricia, her new boss, who had been instrumental in bringing Clara on board. "Good morning, Clara. Are you ready for your first day?" Patricia asked, her smile wide and inviting. "Yes, I am excited," Clara replied, her nerves dancing beneath her composed exterior. As the day unfolded, Clara found herself immersed in a world of laughter and learning, surrounded by children who reminded her of Mia. She assisted with arts and crafts, shared stories during circle time, and even led a game of tag in a sunny courtyard. Each smile she received from the children felt like a little spark, igniting her spirit further. By the time Mia arrived to meet her after school, Clara was buzzing with energy. "Guess what? We painted pots today," Mia exclaimed, skipping toward her mother. "Did you really? I can't wait to see it," Clara replied, her heart warming at the sight of Mia's joy. As they strolled home hand in hand, Clara couldn't help but feel that, together, they were building a tapestry of happiness, thread by thread. However, life always had its challenges, and a storm was approaching. Following weeks brought an unexpected setback. One evening, Clara returned home exhausted from work, only to find an ominous envelope waiting for her in the mail. It bore the unmistakable insignia of their landlord. As she opened it, her heart sank. "Mama?" Mia called from the other room. "Are you okay?" Clara took a deep breath, forcing a smile as she held up the letter for me to see. "It's just a notice about the rent. We need to talk, sweetheart." As they settled on the couch, Clara felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on her. "Mia, we have to come up with the rent by the end of the month, and the amount is higher than I expected. What if we have a bake sale?" Mia suggested, her eyes sparkling with determination. Clara chuckled softly, surprised by her daughter's creativity. "That's a wonderful idea. We could bake cookies and sell them at the park, but how will we tell everyone?" Mia's face lit up with excitement. "We can make signs. We can tell our friends at school." Clara's heart swelled with pride. The idea was simple yet beautiful, a testament to their resilience. They spent the next few days gathering supplies, baking cookies, and advertising their bake sale. The entire experience filled their apartment with laughter and warmth, transforming their worries into sweet treats. On the day of the bake sale, Clara and me set up a colorful table at the park, adorned with a cheerful sign that read, "Cookies for calls." The aroma of freshly baked goods wafted through the air, drawing passers-by in like bees to flowers. "Mama, look at all the people!" Mia exclaimed, her voice bursting with excitement. Clara's heart fluttered as they watched their neighbors, friends, and even Mrs. Thornton approach their stand. "You are doing an incredible job, Mia," Mrs. Thornton said, her smile as bright as the sun. "I'd like to buy a dozen cookies, please?" "Thank you," Mia beamed, her pride shining through. As the afternoon wore on, Clara felt an overwhelming sense of community surrounding them. They sold cookie after cookie, laughter intermingling with the clinking of coins and the rustle of bills. With each sale, Clara's heart filled with hope, strengthened by the support of those around them. By the time the bake sale ended, Clara and Mia had raised a significant amount for the rent. They celebrated by sharing a cookie and sitting on a park bench, surrounded by the beauty of the fading sun. "I can't believe we did it, Mama," Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight. "Yes, we did. I am so proud of you, Mia," Clara replied, her voice brimming with love. "You know what? It is your creativity and kindness that brought us this far. We were a great team." This moment of triumph, however, was soon overshadowed by the following week's events. Clara's heart sank when she found out that the community center was facing budget cuts and her position was at risk. She fought to stay positive, reminding herself of the challenge they had just overcome, but doubts began creeping into her mind. "Mama, you look sad," Mia said one evening as they prepared dinner together. "What is wrong?" Clara sighed, her heart heavy. "I just found out that there might not be enough funding for my job at the community center. I am not sure what that means for us." "But you are so good at it. Everyone loves you," Mia insisted, her brows furrowing with concern. "Thank you, sweetheart, but sometimes things happen that are out of our control," Clara replied, trying to hide the worry in her voice. "Then we just have to make it okay," Mia said firmly, her determination shining. "We can do it together, just like the big sale." Clara couldn't help but smile at her daughter's unwavering faith. "You were right. Maybe we can come up with a plan, together." As they brainstormed ideas, Clara realized that they had faced challenges before and had emerged stronger. They could channel that same spirit again. They decided to host another community event, this time a family fun day, where children could enjoy games, food, and activities all free with the option of donations. Word spread quickly through the community, and soon families from all over were joining in the excitement. Clara and Mia worked tirelessly, securing donations from local businesses and enlisting friends to help run the event. On the day of the family fun day, the park was alive with laughter, the sounds of children playing, and the smell of delicious food wafting through the air. Clara looked around, her heart swelling with gratitude as she witnessed the community coming together. Even Mrs. Thornton was there, her eyes twinkling with joy as she helped organize chairs for the families. "You've created something beautiful here, Clara," she said, her voice brimming with warmth. "Thank you, it's all about unity and kindness," Clara replied, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over her. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the park, Mia stood on a small platform, her voice ringing out to the crowd. "Thank you all for coming. My mama worked so hard, and I just wanted everyone to have fun." The crowd erupted in applause, and Clara felt tears prick at her eyes. In that moment, she understood that resilience often blossomed from vulnerability, and kindness had the power to unite even the most disparate of souls. With the success of the family fun day, Clara received good news from the community center. They had secured new funding, and her position was safe for the foreseeable future. She couldn't believe the relief washing over her. It felt like the weight of the world had been lifted from her shoulders. "Mama, did you hear?" Mia squealed as they celebrated together that evening. "We did it." "Yes, we did. You were right all along, my love. We can do anything together," Clara replied, pulling Mia into a tight embrace. In the days and weeks that followed, their lives began to flourish. Clara's position at the community center grew stronger, and her bond with Mia became an unbreakable force, one that weathered every storm. With Mrs. Thornton's support, they found new avenues to reach out and uplift others in their community. One afternoon, as they walked hand in hand through the park, Clara glanced at the time-honored trees lining the path, their leaves rustling gently in the wind. "Mia, do you know what I love most?" Clara asked, her eyes sparkling. "What, Mama?" "Every time we face a challenge, we always find a way to rise above it. You remind." ## Part 4, Unbreakable Bonds. The gentle hum of morning stirred Clara from her dreams, and she smiled at the sun peeking through their curtain. It was a new day. Life felt lighter now, buoyed by the warmth of a community that had embraced them, and a daughter who filled her heart with joy. Clara stretched and made her way to the kitchen, where the smell of pancakes wafted through the air. "Mama, I made extra today." They called from the kitchen, her voice sweet and bright. "Extra? Wow, are we having a pancake feast?" Clara responded, unable to suppress her laughter. She turned to see her daughter at the stove, a proud grin spread across her face. "Yes, and I even added berries." Mia beamed, holding up a plate full of colorful pancakes. "Mia, you're a culinary genius," Clara said, kneeling to embrace her daughter. The warmth between them was palpable, a bond forged in love and resilience. As they sat down to breakfast, the morning light danced across the table, illuminating the remnants of their struggle and triumph. "Mama, do you think Mrs. Thornton will come to the community center today?" Mia asked, her eyes sparkling with hope. "I hope so, sweetheart. She has been such a wonderful friend to us," Clara replied, heartened by the thought of their blossoming relationship with the once stern widow. After breakfast, Clara walked Mia to school, hand in hand. The autumn leaves crunched beneath their feet, a symphony of nature that mirrored the rhythm of their lives. They talked about the day ahead, sharing smiles and laughter, cherishing the beauty of the moment. At the school gate, Mia turned to Clara, her brows furrowed slightly. "Mama, what if today is hard? What if I don't get to see Mrs. Thornton?" "Mia," Clara kneeling to meet her eye level, "every day brings new opportunities to connect with others. Just keep being your wonderful self." With that, Mia skipped through the gates, her laughter weaving through the air like a melody. Clara's heart swelled with pride as she watched her daughter embrace the world with open arms. At the community center, Clara dived into her work with renewed vigor. She spent the day organizing activities, leading arts and crafts sessions, and connecting with parents who came to pick up their children. The laughter of kids echoed through the halls, filling Clara with a sense of purpose. Later that afternoon, as she prepared for the end of the day, a familiar figure entered the center. Mrs. Thornton, elegantly dressed as always, walked toward Clara, her expression warm. "Clara, I was hoping to find you here." "Mrs. Thornton, that is so good to see you," Clara exclaimed, her heart fluttering at the sight of her friend. "How was your day?" "A bit busy, but I couldn't help but think of the family fun day. You managed something incredible. I wanted to thank you for all your hard work." Clara felt a blush creep up her cheeks. "I couldn't have done it without support from the community and you, of course." "I do like to do more," Mrs. Thornton said, her voice steady. "I've been thinking about starting a mentoring program for single parents. You'd be perfect for it." Clara's heart raced. "Me? But I am still figuring things out myself." "Exactly. That is what makes you relatable. You've faced challenges and emerged stronger," Mrs. Thornton replied, her eyes glinting with sincerity. "You can inspire others with your journey." Clara hesitated, uncertainty creeping in. "What if I fail?" "Failure is part of growth. That's how we learn," Mrs. Thornton replied, her voice firm yet gentle. "You have a gift for connecting with people, Clara. You can help others see that they're not alone." Clara locked eyes with Mrs. Thornton, and for the first time, she felt the weight of her self-doubt begin to lift. "I'll think about it," she said softly. "That is all I ask. Let us meet next week to discuss it further," Mrs. Thornton suggested, her smile encouraging. "Absolutely. Thank you," Clara replied, gratitude washing over her. As they parted ways, Clara felt a spark of excitement igniting within her. Perhaps this opportunity could be a new chapter in her life, a way to give back while also nurturing her own growth. That evening, she shared the conversation with Mia, who listened intently, her eyes wide with fascination. You would be amazing at that, Mama. You help me every day. I am just your mom, honey, Clara chuckled, but deep down, Mia's belief began to plant seeds of confidence. Yeah, but you're also a superhero. You help everyone, Mia said, her voice earnest. Clara wrapped her arms around her daughter, feeling the warmth of her affection. You're my little cheerleader, aren't you? Always, Mia proclaimed, a grin lighting up her face. Days turned into weeks, and Clara found herself navigating the budding mentoring program alongside her regular duties at the community center. She met with other parents, shared stories, and facilitated discussions that allowed them to express their fears and hopes. With each interaction, Clara felt a renewed sense of purpose blossom within her. However, life wasn't tea without its challenges. One afternoon, Clara received troubling news. The community center faced potential budget cuts that threatened her position and the mentoring program. She felt the weight of the world collapse upon her like a heavy fog. Why does this keep happening? She whispered to herself as she sat on a park bench, the wind rustling the leaves. Just then, she caught sight of Mia running toward her, her laughter cutting through the heaviness of the moment. Mama, Mia exclaimed breathlessly, her cheeks rosy from the chill. I need something special for you. What is it, sweetheart? Clara asked, her heart lifting slightly. Mia held out a small, crumpled paper. It has a picture of us under the rainbow sea. Clara took the drawing, her heart swelling with affection. The colors were vibrant, a testament to Mia's imaginative spirit. That's beautiful, thank you, my love. I needed this today. Mia climbed onto the bench beside Clara and snuggled close. You're strong, Mama, even when things get hard, just like in our stories. Clara smiled through her tears, feeling the truth of her daughter's words resonate deeply. You're right, we've faced hard times before, and we'll find a way through this too. That evening, Clara gathered her thoughts, determined not to let fear overshadow her journey. She decided to call a meeting with the community center staff and parents involved in the mentoring program. They needed to band together and advocate for the program they cherished. At the meeting, Clara stood before the group, her heart pounding but her voice steady. I know we're facing challenges, but together we can make our voices heard, she said, the fire of determination igniting within her. This program is about more than just support, it is about building a community that uplifts each other. One by one, parents began to share their stories, recounting how the program had touched their lives. Clara's heart swelled with pride as she listened to their words, feeling the strength of their collective spirit. The room echoed with hope, resilience, and a determination to fight for what mattered. As they left the meeting, Clara felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the community surrounding her. That night, as she tucked Mia into bed, Clara whispered, "Thank you for being my light, my guiding star. You give me strength." Mia looked up, her eyes sparkling with innocence. "And you give me hope, Mama. We're a team." As weeks passed, their collective efforts bore fruit. The budget cuts were reversed, and not only was Clara's position safe, but the mentoring program was also expanded. Clara felt like she was living a dream, surrounded by the very community that had once felt daunting. One sunny afternoon, Clara stood at the front of the community center, watching as families gathered for celebration of their achievements. Laughter filled the air, and her heart swelled with happiness, a feeling that was once elusive. "Mama, can we go play?" Mia asked, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Of course, let us go make some memories," Clara replied, not wanting to miss another moment with her daughter. As they joined in the outdoor festivities, Clara felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over her. They had weathered storms, faced uncertainties, and emerged stronger. They had transformed a broken face into a mosaic of resilience, proving that beauty could arise from even the most challenging circumstances. "Mama, look at that." Mia pointed to a group of children releasing colorful kites into the sky. "Can we try?" "Absolutely," Clara replied, her laughter mingling with her daughter's as they ran toward the kites. In that moment, as they let their dreams soar, Clara realized that life, with all its ups and downs, was a beautiful tapestry woven by moments of love, laughter, and an unyielding spirit. As they watched the kites dance against the azure sky, Clara felt a warmth envelop her heart. It wasn't just about overcoming struggles, it was about embracing every moment, every connection, and every chance to uplift one another. They were no longer just a mother and daughter, they were a testament to the beauty of resilience.